Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by a gentleman who's coming back to the UFC to make his UFC debut again. Uh, Nicolas Dalby, well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
UFC
Thank you very
Copen,
much.
UFC Copenhagen. Well, let's start with what a 4 years you've had in life.
Yeah. 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 It's been crazy,
Yeah, you've had
in good and bad ways, but
yeah.
mostly good.
It's been a roller coaster of fighting outside of the fight world. It's been a cluster of emotions for you, like you said, and that video of you and Graham, the announcement you get that you're going back in the UFC, the emotions, and obviously, you just had that. I'll just say, let's put it this way: Valhalla was calling upon you and Ross in that fight. I have
Oh
to
yeah.
take, I have to tip my cap off to you boys and say thank you for that. That was insane.
Yeah, it was quite fun fighting that fight, and Ross was such a good opponent. So I really respect that dude, and any animosity that was in the build up is that was to create some hype. It was an honor and pleasure to share the cage with him, and of course, I'm a bit gutted that he didn't get the call up to UFC, but I think I just had the more dominant wins over the higher quality opponents. Um, and as he said in the post fight interview, I was winning the fight up until it got stopped. That it got stopped was out of our hands,
Mm.
and I reached out to him afterwards and told him, hey, like sometime life just feels unfair, and don't let this get under your skin, and just keep going and do what you feel like doing, because that's the most important.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say because obviously that fight itself kind of elevated the spotlight on you two. That UFC eyes even to an extent would have seen it, and I suppose in a way it helped the pair of you that having that kind of war. There's that fantastic picture of the pair you on the cage after, like brothers in arms after that war. It was,
Yeah.
I watched it live and I was just blown away. I was just couldn't. It was great, as a fight fan to watch it back.
Yeah, I'm happy you felt that way, because of course, being in the fight, it was kind of an ambiguous finish to the
Mm.
fight,
Yeah,
getting it called off before a clear winner could be decided by the official, like the way you do it. Um, I totally understood Goddard's decision, and I have, like, anyone who criticizes him for that should try and step into his shoes. I felt it was absolutely the right decision for for the fight and the fighters. But yeah, it was an incredible night, and I don't know what it is, but I seem to have a knack of creating exciting fights on the biggest Cage Warriors fights. Like
yeah,
Cage Warriors 100 had a nice TKO
yes.
fight there against a very game Mal Peter, another super nice guy. So I'm happy to have been able to be a part of some of the most iconic Cage Warriors events and fights.
Yeah, you've definitely got a highlight reel there alone in itself. And so when Graham called you up, did you just think it was just a general catch up after the fight? Because obviously you didn't know that call was coming. You could see in your face. What was the kind of emotions going on there, man?
Well, you watched the video.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, I thought it was odd. He was calling me on a video call,
Yeah.
and I was actually in a car with my fiance. Luckily, she was driving, but I was on the highway with my fiance, with our baby in the back, sleeping, and you know. So I was like, okay, video call. Let's see if this works. So and then we just talked a bit in general. Like he was kind of ambiguous in the beginning. Like, so if you couldn't get on the Copenhagen car, would you still just like take a fight for UFC? And I was like, yeah, of course. I'd love to be on Copenhagen, but I'll take anything.
Yeah.
And then he asked me in this kind of tricky way, like, so what if I told you were on the Copenhagen card? And I was like, well, are you telling me that I am? And then, he said, yes, you're on. And then, it was just, how do I describe those feelings? It was like I had the chance the first time around to do something great, but I had some other stuff in life I needed to figure out first. So in a way, it was good that I got released by UFC because it made me approach the stuff I needed to take a handle on. But it had been a tough road back.
Mm.
So to get that call was, in a sense, that was like the realization of all the hard effort I put into not just coming back as a fighter, but also in a way as a person.
Mm.
Of course, I wouldn't be judging myself on whether I got back to UFC or not. I'd still be whole as a person, but it was
Yes.
just nice to get that extra cherry on the top for all the effort I put into it. So yeah, just incredibly happy, and my fiance have been so very supportive of me going through the depression and also getting back into fighting. Well, we found out we were pregnant at the same time, so the last year has been super crazy.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, for me, it looked like when you got that fight against Petty Solely, that looked like a huge win for you. Like you said it yourself, it wasn't the fight wasn't the battle. It was getting back in that
Yeah,
was the battle, and that almost was what that kickstarted everything. You kind of must have answered a lot of questions to yourself, and that's what brought you to where you are now.
absolutely, absolutely. I did have some tough weeks after the fight where
Mm,
I felt like it was all for nothing
mm,
because I fought so hard and I was so close to getting that victory,
mm.
that W on the paper, and I knew I did good in the fight, but it's in a way it's kind of fucked up that my happiness was depending on just a W on the paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I had a mini depression after that where I kind
Mm.
of dipped down and gained some weight again. But I kind of pulled myself together with tools I've learned with from my psychologist and mental coach, and pulled myself back and had to fight against Allegretti and then Malpeter and then Lahore and then Houston, and now I'm here.
Yeah, and you've got a heck of a fun opponent in the Brazilian Cowboy.
Yes,
He is, he's just a fun fight, and so you bring a fun battle. He does too. Kind of stylistically, it just makes for a potential fight of the night itself. For you as a kind of a welterweight, that must be a kind of fun fight to get hold of, rather than someone who's a bit tentative. You know what you're going to get with him.
absolutely. And even if he's tentative, like no matter how he fights, if you're just putting that aside, like just the chance to get to fight a guy who's had the victories he's had,
Mm.
he's a good name.
Yeah.
He's got a good value to his name. So even just putting aside how he fights, it's a good fight for me. It's a perfect mix of risk and reward, I feel. And then yeah, of course, combined with his fighting style and my fighting style, that it could be. I don't want to jinx it or I think it's sealed before the fight is actually on, but that could be a fight of the night, I should say.
Yeah, yeah. On paper, it's got that written all over it because, like you say, he's got that name value. You go in there, get that victory. That kind of puts you right in there in that welterweight division. It doesn't leave you down as an entry level. It puts you right in the kind of middle echelon of that welterweight division where you could get yourself a really good solid target after that. So it's the kind of leap you want, really. Because I suppose, obviously, with your previous experience that you've had at the UFC, that's why they felt confident giving you a matchup like this.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people have been writing and saying on social media and other places that they felt it was a tough fight for me. Um, Maybe it is. I don't feel it is
No.
because I truly feel on that level. And if
Mm.
I could get a win over Eliseo dos Santos, who was just ranked number 14 until his last fight,
Mm.
and I could get a draw against Darren Till, and even the fights I lost, I still did good. If I could do that while also battling, slipping into depression, and basically, in a way, having only half a brain or no
Yeah.
self confidence, um, you know, then I can do some crazy shit when my head and body is working together.
Yeah, I think, for example, I like the matchup because when I looked at it immediately before even doing tape study, I see your counter strikes are a very big asset to someone like that because of the way he can fight. So people maybe don't do enough tape study, maybe not looked at the fight close enough to maybe make that opinion, and that's why they maybe thought that was a tougher fight for you. But one thing that's just come out, I think it was in the past 24 hours, Jacare recently just disclosed about how he fell into some mental health issues
Oh, I
with.
didn't see that.
Yeah, he's just recently talked about it. It's
Yeah.
I think MMAfighting.com maybe posted it on there. He talked about
Okay.
how he was maybe going to retire and his mental state and everything, and something like that. When you get more fighters coming out like that, and it's kind of great to see because everyone has battles. I have battles. Everyone has
Yeah.
battles. Talking about
Absolutely.
them is talking. Like the saying goes, a problem talked is a problem halved.
Yeah.
I'm sure when you get a chance to maybe read about Jacare, that must be kind of great to see that because you get a bit of solidified kind of unionization of fighters talking about their feelings, and it's not just all macho walk around Mr. Big Bollocks. It is a fight game. It is emotions into it. It's more than just throwing your hands.
Yeah, we are complete human beings
Yeah.
with the good and the bad that come with that. And of course, there's a time to talk about when you're gonna fuck up your next opponent, and there's a time to talk about maybe what you could say is like softer issues.
Mm.
Um, but I feel it's great that more people are opening up about that. What I felt from me sharing my experiences has been a lot of incredible feedback from fans near and far that have appreciated me opening up and talking about how I've experienced depression, how I dealt with it, and how I got myself back. Because maybe they can't do the same thing directly, but it's been an inspiration to them
Mm.
to try and get better or improve their quality of life. So just that in of itself is incredible for me to and even gives me more motivation to share my thoughts on it if it can help just one single person, that
Yeah.
makes it all.
It is, yeah. Little things like that, people don't realise what it does. And like you say, usually the comments come from DMs, not just publicly. And it's just some people find it hard to say stuff out loud, and it's having
Yeah.
the confidence
and
to do so.
and it makes sense because talking about your mental health is a
Mm.
very intimate and private thing.
Yes.
And so you also have to be careful about not sharing every single
Yeah.
detail with the whole world, because there are trolls out there and people who just want to
Yeah.
mess around on the internet. So, but for sure, the more you can talk with people that you trust, or just get it out there, and as you said, talking about it is like half the battle. So just for people to get talking is a big step.
And so I've noticed as well, you're in Ireland. So
Yes.
you've split your camp.
Yeah.
What was the thought process for splitting your camp up?
Well, it started back. Actually, I thought about doing it when I was supposed to fight Malpeter. I
Okay.
thought about coming to SBG, but obviously he was an SBG fighter, so I knew that was out of the question. That wouldn't, that would be a weird thing to ask. Hey, can I come train
Yeah.
to fight one of your guys? Even though I know the gyms are pretty split up, they also train a lot together.
Yeah.
So I put that on hold, and then after I was able to get a win over him and preparing for the next fight, I reached out to John and told him, hey, I've been thinking about coming to train with you for a while, and now it seems to be the right time. And when would you be in Dublin so I can time my visit with you being there, and us, working a bit together if he'd be willing to do that. And then he told me that a lot of the guys from the gym were going to Iceland because Gunny was starting up his fight
Yeah.
camp for his last fight, and I was more than welcome to join them there for a 2 week sparring camp. So I decided to do that. Went out, first time I ever traveled to train. So that was in of itself a step out of my comfort zone, and
Hmm.
I was still maybe a bit unsure of myself. but did it and grew immensely with that experience and made some like bonds for life
Yeah.
with a bunch of fighters up there, a lot of nice guys, people that were just loosely connected to SBG and regular people that train there all the time. And I'm staying at one of the guys' house right now. I've been staying here for 2 weeks at a guy's place who I just met in Iceland, and we just had a connection. So that trip was very valuable. And then I've just been coming back for then the Houston fight and now this Oliveira fight.
Yeah, it works really well because they've got the, like I say, you got Gunny fighting, and you've got Bellator card as well for a lot of the SBG guys. So
Yeah. Yeah, so
there's,
the gym is
there's
full of people preparing
yes,
for fights.
yeah, they're all kind of on the same point of getting peak of their peak with you, so it all works out really well. Rather than coming there after a ton of them before, and the kind of energy levels are down, you're all kind of
Exactly.
bringing each other up. So, I suppose then putting yourself in that mix with new faces, new people around you, like you said, the new challenges, it's really beneficial because you get new techniques from different people that you're not used to there. Because when you train with the same guys, you sometimes get in the habit of what they're used to. Have the new faces, new movements. It's good for you.
Absolutely. And then there's also like the gym I train at in Denmark is a very nice gym and I love it.
Yeah.
But right now we don't have the best or the highest level of fighters there. We have some very solid amateur fighters, but we don't really have any other pro fighters. So even though the guys I train with there, they can each push me in like different aspects.
Yes.
I still need to get like pushed in the whole department at one time. And the guys who train at SBG are like super cool, very, very talented, but also very mindful of like injuries. And I feel like I'm able to come here as an outsider and go straight into sparring with guys with a high intensity, but everyone's still taking care of each other, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They're very cautious, aren't they? They're safe. The safety. It's almost like you feel safe, even though you're
Yeah,
going
I,
the
I,
hot. Yeah.
I feel like basically everyone I've trained with at the gym, I'm not afraid of them trying to knock me out, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's very good to have that feeling for me when I'm training somewhere. That makes me grow, knowing that I can experiment a little, maybe in a sparring
Yeah.
session and try something new out, and know, okay, I'll get tagged, but I won't be, out.
Yes. That's
So the
huge.
atmosphere at SBG Ireland, the gym, I can't recommend it enough. To me, it's been a crazy experience getting in as an outsider and feeling so welcome.
Yeah. I've had a lovely experience training at a couple of gyms in the UK. For like you say, experience, new faces, and so far I've not found a nasty one. So all good so far in SBG. I've not had the pleasure of going there. It might be something I do in the future, just for a bit of fun, But
I can recommend it.
yeah. Well, it looks fantastic. Anyway, the images of the facilities as well. Jeez, woo,
Yeah,
they are
it's
not
nice.
sure.
It's very
Yeah.
nice.
So it's always a good thing having the nice equipment. We've got the lovely we've got Muay Thai pads which are wrapped in duct tape. Always useful.
Well, that has a charm as well.
Yeah, there's like there is a slight charm to it. Yeah, we reuse our equipment as much as we can. But yeah, man, it's great to hear that you've got those opportunities, those doors are open to you, and you've got this great opportunity, UFC Copenhagen. Like, man, I think that it's going to be an insane atmosphere, man. When you walk out there, that crowd's going to go absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be opening the main card, and I'm gonna be walking out to the national anthem of Denmark. So
Oh, brilliant.
hopefully, there's gonna be a lot of Danish flags waving, and the crowd will be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be. Look, I haven't heard the Danish national anthem, so I'll have to check it out and get my ears around it, see what I'm looking out for when I watch it live.
Well, it's a national anthem, so for
Some are
foreign
fun.
people, it might not be, it's just another national anthem, but it always creates a special atmosphere if they play the anthem from your
Yes.
country, right? So,
Yes, it does.
and
Yeah.
then fighting in Copenhagen, it just felt. I did it in London actually as well, but there wasn't as many Danish people there, so it didn't get the same reaction, of course. But it was a nice test run.
Yeah, yeah, hey, man. Look, I can't wait to see this. And ladies and gentlemen, You can all watch this on UFC Fight Pass. It'll be on BT Sports. So check this fight out, man. Dalby is back in the UFC. It's going to be insane. He does not have boring fights. That is one thing you can get from Dalby is a
Thank
good,
you.
fun, honest fight. Look, man, I'm super excited to see this. Super excited to have you back on a big show. Before I let you go, my man, give people information on your social media, where to follow you, so they can join you on your social media.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's pretty easy. I'm at Dalby MMA on more or less every social media. Yeah, big shout out if I can do that for to SBG Ireland for having me. Big shout out to my mate for letting me stay in his house for 2 weeks with smelly training equipment and shin pads and all that shit. Big shout out to my sponsor, Shipping You Tomorrow, and yeah, all the other people, the big amount of people that have helped me get to this point and the continuing journey. So yeah, thank you guys for having me on the show.
No, absolute pleasure, mate, to have you on as always. And again, have a great fight, have a great experience. Be familiar territory anyway when you get there. So look, enjoy, man, and we'll be tuning in. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out Nicolas Dalby, UFC Copenhagen.